Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I am Alifia Gustiarani Putri and I'm from class 3B English department, and now I want to present my presentation about Sudoku. And the first is the history of Sudoku. What is Sudoku? Sudoku was first created in 1783 by a Swiss mathematician, Leonhard Euler. The Sudoku story began in 1783 when a Swiss mathematician, Leonhard Euler, devised Latin squares, which he described as a new kind of magic squares. Euler has come up with a grid in which every number or symbol appears once in each row or column. Next, Leonhard Euler was the first to come up with Sudoku concept, but modern Sudoku games were created by Howard Gardner. The riddle of the numbers named Sudoku was published in the Word Games magazine and Dell Pencil Puzzle magazine as Number Place, or the earliest known example of modern Sudoku, on May 1979. Next, the puzzle was introduced in Japan by Nicoli in the paper Monthly Nicolis in April 1984 as Sujiwa Dokushin ni Kagiro, which also can be translated as the digit must be single, or the digits are limited to one occurrence. At a later date, the name was abbreviated to Sudoku by Maki Kaji, taking only the first kanji of compound words to form a shortened version. Next, the man who reintroduced Sudoku back to the Western world was a New Zealand judge named Wayne Gould, who was on vacation in Tokyo in March 1997 when he discovered Sudoku in a bookstore. He quickly became a devout enthusiast of Sudoku and spent the next 6 years developing a computer programs that could generate Sudoku puzzles. Next, the Times of London began publishing Sudoku puzzle in 2004, and the first US newspaper to feature Sudoku was the Conway or New Hampshire Daily Sun in 2004. Within the past 10 years, Sudoku has become a global phenomenon. The first World Sudoku Championship was hosted in Italy in 2006. And the 2013 World Sudoku Championship was held in Beijing. And the next was variants of Sudoku. There are some variants of Sudoku that I will present. The first is standard Sudoku. A standard Sudoku consists of a 9 times 9 grid, subdivided into 9s, 3 times 3 squares. Every 3 times 3 square, every row and every column contain each of the number 1 until 9 exactly once. This means a complete Sudoku is also a Latin square, and here is the example of standard Sudoku. Next, the second is mini Sudoku. The mini size Sudoku is 6 times 6 and is often used as a variant for children. And here is an example of mini Sudoku. Next, the third is word doku. As the numbers are just used as symbols and not for calculation, one may fill the squares with letters as well as with numbers. This comes in especially handy if the grid is larger than 3 times 3. Some variants, such as in the TV guide, include a word reading along a main diagonal, row, or column once solved. Determining the word in advance can be viewed as a solving aid. A word doku might contain words other than the main words. And here is the example of word doku. And the next is Samurai Sudoku or Gatai in Japanese. Samurai Sudoku or Gatai in Japanese consists of 5 overlapping of 9 times 9 grids, as in the figure below. Every 3 times 3 square contains the digit 1 until 9, and the rules for normal Sudoku applies to all of 9 times 9 grids. And here is the example of samurai Sudoku or gatai. And the last but not least is chaos Sudoku or nonomino or color Sudoku. Chaos Sudoku. In Chaos Sudoku, the familiar 3 times 3 squares have been replaced by 9 square areas of different shapes. In the Netherlands, there are some Chaos Sudoku that has published in several magazines. And here is the example of Chaos Sudoku. And the next is how to play Sudoku. Sudoku rule number 1 is use number 1 until 9. Sudoku is played on a grid of 9 times 9 space. Within the rows and columns are 9 squares. Each row, columns, and square need to be filled out with the number 1 until 9, without repeating any numbers within the row, column, or square. Does it sound complicated? Yeah, the more space filled in, the easier the game. The more difficult Sudoku puzzles have very few space that are already filled in. Next, the second rule is don't repeat any number. By seeing which number are missing from each square, row, or column, we can use process of elimination and deductive reasoning to decide which number needs to go in each blank space. This means that we should ignore the upper left square for now and try to fill in space in some other areas of the grid instead. Next, the Sudoku rules number 3 is don't guess. Sudoku is a game of logic and reasoning, so you shouldn't have to guess. If you don't know what number to put in a certain space, keep scanning the other areas of the grid until you see an opportunity to place a number, but don't try to force anything. Sudoku rewards patience, insight, and recognition of patterns, not blind luck or guessing. Next, the Sudoku rules number 4 is use process of elimination. One way to figure out which number can go in each space is to use process of elimination by checking to see which other numbers are already included within each squares, since there can be no duplication of number 1 until 9 within each square or row or column. And the last thing that I want to present is the benefit of playing Sudoku. There are some benefits of playing Sudoku. The first is improved concentration. The second is help to reduce anxiety and stress. The third is to promote a healthy mindset. The fourth is help kids develop their problem-solving skills. The fifth is promote a healthy competition. The sixth is improve thinking skills. The seventh is to improve memory. The eighth is help to analyze the relation between the whole and the part. The ninth is improve logical thinking. The 10th is it is a affordable hobby, and the last is give sense for accomplishment. Okay, I think that's enough from me. I'm sorry if there's so many mistakes, and thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Girl about a 10, I should fuck her in the Benz.